Australia is home to one of the world's oldest stories. Its landscapes have been shaped by wind, fire, and water for millions of years. Long before written history, people lived here, leaving traces in caves, rocks, and the land itself. This is one of the oldest continuous cultures on Earth. The land is ancient, worn flat by time, older than the mountains of Europe or Asia. Its deep history is a living thread, carried by the descendants of the first people. Their stories, songs, and art connect today's Australia to its distant past. The first Australians were explorers. Tens of thousands of years ago, their ancestors left Southeast Asia. They crossed the sea in boats, following the stars and the shape of the land. This journey was one of the world's earliest sea crossings. It took courage and skill to travel such great distances. When they arrived, the land was different. Giant animals like diprotodons and marsupial lions still roamed the forests. People adapted quickly. They learned which plants could be eaten, where water could be found, and how to hunt the animals of this strange new land. They spread across the continent, from the tropics to the cold south. Migration took many generations. People settled in every corner of the land, from coastal mangroves to desert heartlands. They built shelters, made tools, and formed communities. Over time, languages and customs changed. Yet, the memory of arrival has never been forgotten. Today, many Indigenous nations tell stories of journeys across water. These stories are more than legend. They are maps, guides, and warnings. They remind us of the bravery and resilience of the first Australians. Before colonisation, Australia was not one land of one people. Instead, it was home to more than 250 nations, each with its own language, law, and land. These nations were as different as those of Europe or Asia. Some lived by the sea, others in forests, grasslands, or deserts. Each knew their country intimately. Culture was, and is, deeply tied to the land. People sang songs about rivers, mountains, and animals. These songs were not just music, they were maps and law books. They taught children how to live, what to eat, and how to care for each other. Art, dance, and ceremony kept history alive. Trade and travel linked different groups. Shells from the north reached the south. Stones from the desert were found on the coast. People shared stories, goods, and ideas across vast distances. Conflict sometimes happened, but rules were in place to resolve it. The diversity of Indigenous Australia is one of its greatest strengths. Each nation contributed unique knowledge and ways of life, built over thousands of years. This cultural richness still shapes Australia today. Australia's first peoples were not just hunters or gatherers. They were skilled land managers. They used fire to care for the land, a practice known as fire stick farming. Carefully timed fires cleared old grass, encouraged new growth, and made hunting easier. This helped prevent the huge wildfires we see today. People also built fish traps and weirs, like the ancient Brewarina fish traps in New South Wales. These structures, made from stone, guided fish into pools for easy catching. In some areas, people planted yams and other foods in regular patches, much like farming. Sustainable practices were at the heart of these systems. People took only what was needed, leaving enough for animals and future generations. They rotated harvests and respected breeding times. This kept the land healthy and productive for thousands of years. The environment was not wild or untouched. It was shaped by human hands and minds, with a deep understanding of local ecosystems. This knowledge is still valuable, especially as we face modern environmental challenges. At the heart of Indigenous Australian life is the dreaming, or in some languages, the dream time. This is not just a time in the past, but actually the foundation of existence itself. The dreaming tells how the world was made, how landforms and creatures came to be, and, well, how people should live together. The dreaming is law. It sets out rules for caring for the land, for marriage, for sharing food, and for respecting others. It explains the rights and responsibilities of every person. Stories from the dreaming are passed down in song, dance, art, and ceremony. They teach, warn, and guide. The dreaming connects people to place. Each group has its own stories, tied to specific hills, rivers, or trees. Identity comes from knowing your country and your place in the story. This connection is both spiritual and practical. Even today, the dreaming shapes law, land management, and cultural life. It is a living system, open to change yet grounded in deep tradition. It is a gift from ancestors, carried forward by each new generation. For a long time, outsiders thought Australia was empty and wild before Europeans arrived. But, this is a misconception. The landscape we see today is actually the result of thousands of years of careful management. Indigenous people changed the land to suit their needs and to keep it healthy. Fire was used to shape grasslands, encourage food plants, and make travel easier. Wetlands were dug out and shaped to hold water or grow food. Paths linked campsites, waterholes, and ceremonial places. The land was a patchwork of managed areas. When early Europeans arrived, they often mistook these managed landscapes for wild country. In truth, they were walking through a living garden. The loss of traditional practices has led to many problems: overgrown forests, invasive weeds, and big fires. Understanding this history helps us see Australia differently. The land is not just nature, it is culture, memory, and work. Indigenous knowledge offers solutions for today's environmental crises. Europeans first saw Australia long before the British arrived. In the early 1600s, Dutch ships from the East Indies sailed along the west and north coasts. They made maps, named places, and sometimes met local people. But they did not stay. The Dutch found the land dry and strange. There was little fresh water, and the soil seemed poor. Some ships were wrecked on reefs or beaches. Survivors told stories of hardship and isolation. Other explorers, French, Portuguese, and even Macassan traders from Indonesia, also came and went. Yet none saw reasons to settle. The land was already home to skilled people, and its riches were not obvious to outsiders. Australia remained a mystery to Europe for more than 100 years. The world would change forever when the British finally decided to make it a colony. In the late 1700s, Britain was looking for places to send its prisoners. Jails were full. The American colonies, once used for convicts, were lost after the American Revolution. Australia, far away and unknown, became the answer. In 1770, Captain James Cook claimed the east coast for Britain, calling it New South Wales. 18 years later, in 1788, the first fleet arrived at Botany Bay. 11 ships carried over 1,000 people, convicts, soldiers, and officials. They set up camp at what is now Sydney. The first colony was a prison camp, but it quickly grew. New towns were built. Free settlers arrived. Land was taken from its original owners, often without agreement. The British brought new plants, animals, and ways of living. This was the beginning of a new era, yet it came at a terrible cost to the people who had lived here for thousands of years. Colonization brought disease, conflict, and loss. Smallpox, measles, and flu swept through indigenous communities. Many died. Others lost their lands and were forced off their traditional country. Violence and resistance were common as settlers pushed further inland. The gold rushes brought migrants from Europe, China, and America. Towns sprang up overnight. The population soared. In 1901, the colonies joined to become Australia. But not everyone belonged. The White Australia policy shaped migration for decades. After World War II, immigration changed society. People arrived from all over the world, bringing new foods, languages, and traditions. Land rights, the 1967 referendum, and steps toward reconciliation have changed the nation. Modern Australia is a place of democracy and diversity. Its story is still unfolding.